When you bring a pile of groceries home, your first instinct is always to get the perishable items to the fridge as quickly as you can. However, despite popular belief, there are some food times that you should never store in the refrigerator. Refrigeration goes a long way towards preserving food, but for some foods refrigeration can actually lessen the flavor, change the texture, and occasionally even cause the food to spoil at a faster rate. Here are some of the items that you should never refrigerate. 1. Honey. Refrigeration will cause the luscious honey to harden. That's why you should be storing it at room temperature and out of direct sunlight. 2. Bread. There are some people who hold fast to the belief that bread will keep longer in the fridge. These people are also eating some very dried out bread. It is perfectly fine to freeze bread, but keeping it in the fridge will cause it to very quickly dry out. 3. Nuts and dried fruits. There's no need to refrigerate them. Nuts will be fine stored in a cool, dark spot. 4. Berries. Fresh berries already have a short shelf life, so leave them out of the fridge and eat them within a day or two of purchasing. 5. Herbs. It's natural instinct to stuff the fresh herbs you just bought from the grocery right onto the fridge. But did you know herbs wilt faster in the fridge? You could place them in a water-filled glass jar on your kitchen counter to keep it fresh and crisp. 6. Onions. Onions need to be kept in an area that allows air circulation. Needless to say, the refrigerator does not fit that description. You should also keep them away from the potatoes, as this will cause the onions to rot. 7. Bananas. As we all know, the riper the banana is, the better it tastes and is a lot healthier. But if we refrigerate bananas, the ripening process comes to a standstill. Therefore, bananas are best stored at room temperature. Bananas stored at room temperature are said to have more health benefits rather than refrigeration. This is because when bananas are refrigerated, they lose the potassium content. 8. Salad dressings. Just like other condiments, most salad dressing, especially ones that are vinegar or oil-based, are just fine stored outside the fridge. However, cream, yogurt, or mayo-based dressings should be stored in the fridge. 9. Potatoes. Refrigeration is a surefire way to kill the flavor of potatoes. Instead, you want to store potatoes in a dry paper bag, but not a plastic bag, as this promotes moisture and mold. 10. Avocado. Avocados need to be ripe before they are refrigerated. Once ripe, they will last for up to about a week in the fridge. It is best to refrigerate the whole avocado, to keep it from browning when exposed to air. 11. Ketchup and soy sauce. Thanks to the vinegar and preservatives, the saucy ketchup and soy sauce will be just fine without refrigeration, even after it has been opened. 12. Cereal. Your morning cereals will be fine and happy outside the fridge. So don't upset them. 13. Hot sauce. You can actually store hot sauce, along with various other condiments such as Worcestershire sauce, ketchup, and sriracha, outside of the fridge and in a pantry for up to 3 years. 14. Tomatoes. If you want to obliterate all of the flavor and texture of a good tomato, then refrigerate it. If you want your tomatoes to ripen faster, however, store them out of the fridge in a paper bag. 15. Pickles. High on preservatives, pickles will stay fresh outside the fridge. Store it in an open space, so air can move around it. 16. Coffee. When you refrigerate or freeze coffee, you are actually going to get a drastically different flavor. This is due to condensation. This is true for both coffee beans and coffee grounds. The best way to store coffee is in an airtight container in your pantry. 17. Melons. Melons normally do best outside the fridge. Once refrigerated, they tend to break down and become powdery and grainy. So to keep the flavor intact, melons need to be stored at room temperature. However, after cutting, you should store the melons in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. 18. Winter squashes. Whether it is an acorn squash, a butternut, or a spaghetti squash, you will get far more flavor and enjoyment if you leave it in the pantry. On top of that, the squash will last about a month or longer out of the fridge. 19. Oils. When you put oils, whether it is olive oil or vegetable oil, in the fridge, they will actually get thick and begin to look murky and cloudy. In fact, the only oils that you must refrigerate are nut-based oils. You are best simply keeping your oils in the pantry. 20. Peanut butter. No need of refrigeration, just keep it stored in the cool, dark spot and your peanut butter will be just fine. 21. Garlic. If you keep garlic in the fridge, then you are drastically reducing the lifespan of that garlic's usability. This is because refrigeration reduces the flavor of the garlic and the refrigerated environment can actually cause mold to develop. You want to store garlic loose. After you break the head of the garlic, you want to use it within 10 days. 22. Jam. Due to the high amount of preservatives in jams and jellies, it is acceptable to store without refrigeration, even after opening. 23. Stone fruits. Stone fruits such as peach, cherry and plum aren't exactly good friends with the fridge, therefore it's best to keep them aside in the kitchen until they're ripe and ready to eat. 24. Pepper. Whether red, green, yellow, and even chili peppers, they're going to be just fine without any refrigeration. Store them in a paper bag in a cool space. Fruits like avocado, apples, bananas, citrus fruits, berries, peaches, apricots, and nectarines should be stored out of the fridge. Refrigerating these fruits will result in loss of flavors and textures. However, you can refrigerate these fruits for 30 minutes prior to eating if you want a crisp bite. Store oranges, lemons, and limes at room temperature on your kitchen counter. Just be careful not to bunch them too closely, or they will tend to mold. Don't store an underripe avocado in the fridge, but an already ripe or cut avocado can be refrigerated.